saw the first one, I think, last Monday.
Cool.
I loved the film.
Oh,
I walked into it not knowing anything about it. I just I knew the title, and I'm a huge horror movie fan. So my comment after the film was, it is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre for the indie film crowd.
That's cool.
It is like, it's about a crazy family
Right.
meets people and they do their thing. That's how they live.
Yeah. Normal worries like the rest of us.
And it was so well done, and just it's just I see your name being up there with like Toby Hooper and John Carpenter at some point.
The people I grew up on. Yeah.
Me too. How old are you?
I'm 30. I'll be 34 in a couple weeks.
Okay. So we both grew up with the same people.
Yeah.
So how did you get inspired to do this movie? Like, did you see the remake and then just like, I gotta do this?
Yeah. No, it was a weird sort of long. I had like a history with this well before it even came to me, because we kept playing. My last film kept playing festivals with the original, and so I kept hearing about it. And every time we'd stop in the city, it would be like, "Oh, last night this movie we are played," and I kept hearing about it and reading about it, and then I'd have friends be like, "Have you heard about this movie? This sounds like the kind of movie you like." So I was almost like haunted by this thing well before I ever saw it. And then by the time it did come out, I didn't see it kind of because I was like, I feel like I've heard so much about this. I almost kind of know what it's going to be, and it was one of those kind of things. And then another company that we were trying to get another film off the ground with said, they just acquired the rights to it. They had someone that had seen it at Cannes and fell in love with it and had been sort of hunting it down for forever. And they said, would you be interested in doing this? And I thought, no, this is exactly what I don't want to do. I don't want to just take this foreign horror thing that has this beloved following, and try to like just translate it into English, and try to put a little stamp on it. But then they said, take a look and see what you think. And I finally watched it with Nick D'Amici, who writes everything that we do. And both those kind of felt like, there's a really, we love the original, but it also feels very, very singular to that filmmaker. It felt very much like that was his film, and it was almost like his version of this really big mythology that he sort of created, but was very vague about a lot of things. So we felt like we could actually do a lot of stuff with this and still keep it in the world and the universe of his, but it's it's very different from that movie. Really, really different. Which is what I want from a remake. I
haven't seen the remake yet. I want to now.
Yeah.
But it's going to be hard to compare to this one,
Yeah, but what's good is it's like it doesn't. I don't think it'll be like you get these Hollywood remakes of like Tale of Two Sisters, which is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
Like that was a freaking nightmare. I mean, that was horrible. It had nothing to do with it. And it was just like you could just see that it was something where they just optioned something, had no idea what to do with it, and then just ran it into the ground. And there's Let Me In, Let the Right One In.
Yeah.
And I love the original.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, and the book was so good.
Yeah.
So Kelly McGillis, Michael Parks.
Yeah.
Are you a Top Gun fan, or are you a fan of all Michael Parks stuff? Because I love Michael Parks so much, and Kelly McGillis. I thought it was like, because I didn't know it was Kelly McGillis until the credits. I was like,
oh, cool.
Wow, yeah. Kelly McGillis.
Yeah. She was in my last film also, and before that she hadn't done anything in like 10 or 11 years or something.
Yeah.
And it was, actually, I've never seen Top Gun.
She looks completely different.
Yeah, I mean, I turn on the TV and I've seen enough pieces over the years to be able to cobble them all together into one viewing, but I've never like sat down and watched Top Gun from start to finish. But I grew up watching Witness because I grew up in near Amish country, and so like, and I remember when I was like, when it first came out, I was maybe 6 or 7 or something. My parents like, you gotta see this. And so that was one of the things that like they actually took me to see. So I saw that movie so many times as a teenager that when people say Kelly McGillis, I think of like beautiful Amish woman.
Yeah.
It's so funny. So and then she actually moved back to that area. I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. And crazily enough, she went to her kids went to a rival high school of mine, and like we played their team of basketball and stuff. And so when we shot my last film, we shot a lot of it in my dad's backyard, and so we were shooting there, and I kind of just wrote her a letter and said, hey, you want to drive right down Route 422 and come down and make this movie, you know? And she said yes, crazily enough.
And this is upstate New York?
No, this was actually in Pennsylvania.
Oh, Pennsylvania.
But that movie we did half in Pennsylvania, half in upstate New York.
Okay.
And I think she really liked that area, upstate New York.
Cool.
And she's really fun, so she said come back.
That's awesome.
And then Michael Parks just loves everything that guy does. And,
yeah, he's so amazing.
and then you see Red State, and you're like, the guy just keeps getting...
Yeah, Red State and like
you
the beginning of Dusk Till Dawn and just...
Yeah,
he's
amazing.
So good. That's so great. Your next project, I hear, is supposed to be like a Landsdale novel, right?
Yeah.
I'm so excited to see
really?
you do that. Yeah. Any production notes you can give me or any starter?
Sure.
Yeah,
sure. We wrapped a couple weeks ago.
Oh, nice.
It's set in the 80s, you know. We kept it. You know,
and it's Michael C. Hall. Yeah, man.
Michael C. Hall is the lead.
And you got Don Johnson.
Don Johnson plays Jim Bob. We spent so long like trying to find the right Jim Bob. We kind of needed somebody that was kind of his own brand in a way, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, just after seeing Eastbound and Down and Django Unchained and seeing like, I feel like he's got like a redneck Alec Baldwin sort of research.
That's good.
And he's awesome. He read it and loved it and came out and just filled right in. Lansdale actually came and he was on set for about 3 weeks. He brought his daughter up, and it was great. It was just an awesome experience.
That's awesome. I can't wait to see that.
It'll be very, very, very different because you know this one is so like melancholy and slow burn, and that one is just like from the first scene. It's just kind of like it's like a fun ride for you know.
And you used to do a lot of grip work, right?
Yeah, that's how I finished.
Is that? And you always want to do directing and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I went to film school and that was the goal, and then you know you get out and then. You have to pay the bills and see.
Oh no, absolutely. I mean, I went to film school too, and producing and the work. So I always loved being in every aspect of it.
Yeah,
like being in every aspect.
That was the thing was you know because I did that, I did editing, and I did storyboard work. So I spent like a couple years in pre-production, a couple years in post, and a couple years in production, and you know, whenever I was on set working out, I was always kind of frustrated because I was like, the director's always the least experienced person on set, you know? Like, everybody working on the crew, it's like their third movie that year because they're just, you know, going project to project, and the director kind of comes in, and I was always kind of frustrated by that, but it really helped to be able to get something off the ground because, you know, you make contacts and you meet people, you know, and by the time you're ready to whatever risk your life to make your first movie, it's like you have a whole crew of people hopefully.
How was it making all the gory scenes, like when they're eating the people? Did you use like, you know, Caro syrup and red food coloring and turkey or something?
It was turkey. A lot
it
of
was
it
turkey?
Was like stuff that they chew. A lot of it was stuff from like craft service or come in like, here, try this, and they'd be like, what is it? And you know, it's that was the thing they were the most grossed out about, was like, what are we gonna eat? And then I think then they both tried it and they were like, oh, it's actually kind of good, you know, it's actually fine. Yeah, we have a really good special effects artist. It's done 3 movies now, and the one we did before was just epic. I mean, it was on set every day creating vampires and bite wounds and decapitations. It was just like crazy stuff. So this one was actually kind of nice to just be like, you're only gonna be here. You're not gonna have to do very much, but the stuff you're gonna do is gonna be. We're gonna have to really, it's gonna have to be like scientifically accurate. You know, we're gonna have to really hit this stuff. So, so that was kind of a blast. It was really nice to be able to rely not on the splatter and the effects, but be able to just kind of rely on the performances.
Yeah.
You know that we were gonna get good stuff out of there. And I kind of went in thinking, you know, if we get any effects stuff that works, we'll use it, but we're not going to use it if it's not top notch. And then we just looked at the monitor.
No, it was pretty
awesome.
That works. It was amazing. Going to film school, like we both did, means that we're very passionate about film, growing up with it. Yeah. What are some of your favorite scenes from movies that have stuck with you forever that made you get in?
Favorite scenes? Blue Velvet. The joyride scene in Dreams. That stuck with me so long. That you know, I see elements of that in everything that we've done, crazily enough, and feel like everything kind of ties back to David Lynch and that movie. There's a scene in Dario Argento movie called Opera.
I own Opera.
That slow motion bullet through the head.
Phone. I love Argento.
Me too. I love him. I kind of the ending of We Are with All the Fireworks and stuff was very much trying to get some of that Suspiria kind of like Technicolor look.
Yeah, I really like that. One of those scenes in Suspiria was the dog that always scares me. That barks that away.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's
a lot of the looking out the window stuff, comes from that, and yeah.
That's awesome. And so if you had to do another movie, another remake, if you had the chance to do any remake right now that you've always wanted to do, what would you do? What would you want to do? Redo in your own?
Good question. Because right now the last thing I want to do is a remake.
Yeah. But if the studio came to you and was like, here's a budget, here's a whatever budget you need, whatever movie you want.
Right. Maybe this film, Memories of Murder. Do you know this Korean film?
I like Korean films. Memories of Murder.
It's the guy that did The Host.
I love The Host.
Yeah.
Weren't they making a sequel to that?
They are. They're working on it.
Yeah.
I actually met that director. He's probably one of my favorite directors ever. He made this. He started with this movie. Well, he made another movie called Barking Dogs Don't Bite. And then Memories of Murder is kind of awesome, and I sent that around to a lot of our cast and crew for Cold in July to say, like, these kind of movies work where it's it just starts with one scene and it doesn't really follow any formula, but it keeps just diving in and getting deeper and deeper, and the story keeps twisting and twisting and twisting on itself, and it doesn't really fall into any genre. That's what I kind of love about the Korean cinemas. It doesn't really fall into like, this is going to be a horror movie. The Host is like,
it's so
many different genres in one, and it's such an elevated.
Are you a fan of Korean and Japanese films?
Yeah, a lot. Another one is The Chaser. Hong Jin, he makes kind of amazing films, and The Yellow Sea, and all those have kind of really gotten into. And it was fun. It was fun doing these three, because we kind of talked about We Are What We Are as like if David Lynch did a Japanese horror film.
Yeah. Oh, that's so awesome.
and so it was really cool to be able to jump the tracks a little bit and then do Cold and really look at it as one of these sort of Korean sort of multi-tones and elements of humor mixed in with really dark stuff. And I kind of love that.
Well, I look forward to it on Blu-ray.